Are you ready for Flashback Monday? Are you ready for some fun? Ah, I love this magazine. I love it more than anything else. Romantic Times Book Review, RT Book Review. Get ready for lots of interesting books. If you don't know what to read, I'm going to offer you suggestions from all historical, mystery, contemporary romance, inspirational, paranormal, and Harlequin. I'm going to give you a broad range of books to take a look at. You won't find this anyplace else. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And don't forget Star Trek Next Generation Fridays. And If Then Friday afternoons. If you like this author, maybe you like that author. I started with the Bridgertons. If you like Julia Quinn's Bridgertons, maybe you like Joanna Lindsay's Mallory's, Catherine Coulter Sherbrooke's, Stephanie Lawrence Sinster's. Those are amazing. They need to go to Netflix or HBO or something. They would be awesome because they are a very long-running series, very popular series, and the characters are recurring. Once they're a main character, and then they're supporting characters the rest of the series. It's an excellent, excellent series. So we need to get on that. And by the way, it's nice to meet you. My name is Christina. This is the Dewey's book series. This is where we read books and talk books, no special effects. I have horrible lighting, horrible audio. I'm sorry. Maybe one day I'll be able to afford better stuff because I need better stuff. I definitely, absolutely need better stuff. We all know I need better stuff. 800 videos, and the main complaint is that my audio is bad and my visual is bad. I am sorry, but this is what I can afford at this juncture. So we are going to get started with my favorite magazine in the whole wide world. This is March 2010. And we go through it. Shayla Black, Alyssa Day, she's a local author. I used to have her books, but I could not understand vampires under the water, vampires at the ocean front. It just didn't work for me. I'm sorry. We'll be talking about some of these later. More of these later. We're talking about all of this later. Business as usual. Bridget Midway sets her newest novel in the corporate realm. With the popularity of TV shows like Mad Men, the workplace is once again the evocative setting for all kinds of drama, and with drama comes romance and, of course, sex. The boss-secretary dynamic has been a hot topic in movies like the titillating and controversial Secretary and the recent Sandra Bullock film, The Proposal. So it's no wonder that Bridget Midway's new corporate series is teeming with smoldering hot escapades. Check it out. I know my camera is bad. I'm trying here. The three books are Corporate Seduction, Corporate Desires, and Corporate Needs. An excerpt from Corporate Desires. Edna stood on a step stool to retrieve items from a top shelf. When she pulled a stack of old forms down, a cloud of dust fell on her. Blank grey. She set the stack on a shelf at eye level, then wiped off her hands. When she got her hands clean, she smoothed them down the front of her skirt to remove the dust from there, too. She decided that it would be better to do this job with some cleaning supplies in hand. Just as she turned to get down off the stool, she saw Lipsky standing in the doorway. His silent shoes got her again. He was watching her. Oh, hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sexy closet, office supply closet sex. We go from that to Demons and Angels. The scholar St. Thomas Aquinas said angels transcend every religion, every philosophy, every creed. In fact, angels have no religion as we know it. Their existence precedes every religion system that has ever existed on earth. The same could be said for demons, and our fascination with both in fictional realm is growing. Call it divine inspiration or infernal disturbance. Whatever the cause, the armies of heaven and hell are descending in full force throughout all sorts of genre fiction, especially paranormal romance. These days, why deluge of angels and demons? And they feature Sharon Shin, Archangel, Alyssa Ione, Ecstasy Unveiled, I have that one, and Anne Rice, Time Angel. We'll show that a little bit. I know my camera is bad. It's the best I can do. I'm sorry. And The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That title has been used so many times, but I think it's The Good, the Bad, and the Dead for Kim Harrison. We'll have to check that out later. Dark Quest, Deep Desires. Oh, we'll be talking about a couple of these later. Non-fiction pick of the month, P.D. James, talking about detective fiction. She's best known for Adam Delancey mystery series, but this month P.D. James turns to nonfiction with a loving and learned look at her genre of choice. Talking about detective fiction does that with the author's thoughtful examination of the genre. From the very first detective novels, Wilkie Collins' The Moonstone, for example, through Sherlock Holmes, who she refers to as the tenant of 221B Baker Street, to the so-called golden age of detective fiction, to a hopeful new glimpse of tomorrow. Along the way, she visits Hamlet, Chandler, Sayre, Christie, Paritsky, and others, and delves into the minds of detective fiction and fictionados alike. They also do a poll. Which fictional point of view do you prefer? First person, third person, or no preference? And 78% said third person. I don't like third person. I used to refuse to even buy a book if it was written in first person. I don't go that far anymore, but I do prefer third person. I prefer not to live just in one person's head, but to get a more well-rounded perspective of the action going on in the story. No preference. I have no preference in general. I guess it would really depend on the genre I'm reading. I find that I enjoy the third person in romance, but first person in urban fantasy. Interesting. There's a thing here. I know I saw it. Jodi Picoult. The article on her. Readers everywhere love Jodi Picoult prose, the way her characters and stories pull out the heartstrings. RT spoke with Picoult about her latest release, House Rules. When you read for pleasure, what's the genre you most often reach for? Fiction, nonfiction, biography, romance? I read almost exclusive fiction. My husband says if I read as much nonfiction as I do fiction, I'd be the smartest person in the world. She said, I said, lots of point of view on points of view. He said, inside the hero's mind, his breath caught in his throat as she clutched at his hand at her, touching, shocking him into consciousness. Ooh, ooh. The genre divide. I squinted into the fog, staring after basically the cutest boy I'd ever seen. Was he a thief, a vampire I'd have to stake, or just sigh, totally dreamy and mysterious? I like first person. Most of the books I read are first person. So, the different perspective. Check it out. I know my camera's bad. I apologize. Dorothy Garlock. So let's get to it, shall we? I just can read this magazine for hours, and I have read it for hours preparing for this, and I still could sit here and go through it and read it forever. So I just enjoy this magazine tremendously. Where's Sorry. Yes, ma'am. No, I was doing some scrapbooking. Okay, where was I? 40. Revenge wears rubies. There. 4.5 stars. Renee Bernard. Smart, sexy storytelling marked Bernard for success, and she continues to enthrall readers with a twist on the classic revenge plot. Bernard's bright voice always sparkles, and her plot tantalizes as it intrigues in this jaded gentleman series starter. Returning from the battlefield, Galen Hawk is determined to avenge his friend's death and take revenge on the woman who betrayed his memory. Miss Haley Moreland has no idea that her childhood companion fantasizes their engagement. Her only concern is saving her family from financial ruin by marrying well. She's sidetracked by Galen, who's bent on her seduction and whose touch is like fire in her blood. It is possible the man she desires can give her both love and money. Is it worth the risk to save her desire one last time before she must wed for money? Both begin questioning their motives as their passion flares. They must face the past and the present to discover if love is more powerful than revenge or wealth. Brenda Joyce, An Impossible Attraction. Now, I did Brenda. I collected Brenda Joyce's Dark series. She was undercover, amateur sleuth in 1900, and I liked the series. I liked to read it, but apparently her publishers didn't, and Brenda didn't pursue it after so many books. She let it go. She never did finish it, and that was kind of disappointing that she didn't do that. Brenda Joyce. There we go. An Impossible Attraction, 4.5 stars. In her inimitable style, Joyce represents her unforgettable Dewarness in a mesmerizing new romance. Her marvelous storytelling, combined with the high level of emotion, makes a non-stop delight of a read. She did the 2 series, the like I said, the 1900 amateur sleuth who worked with New York City police, or the one of the detectives, and there was a little bit of a romance going on. There was a little bit of conflict, but like I said, she let it go because the publisher liked the DeWarren series mentioned here much better, and I think she eventually let that go too. I haven't seen much of her lately. I'm not sure if she's still about, but anyway, this is a good book to pick up. Got 4.5 stars. Alexander Bolton promised her dying mother she'd care for the family and give up all thought of love and marriage. Despite Andrea's long hours spent as a seamstress, her father's profligate behavior soon has the family destitute. To raise the funds, her father plans to put her up for sale to a wealthy members of the ton. As she escorts her sisters to a ball and becomes ill, Alexandria collapses into the arms of Stephen, the Duke of Clarewood. Reputed to be the wealthiest duke in England, Stephen does not believe in love and thinks what he feels for Alex is nothing more than lust. She realizes she's fallen in love, but a future together is impossible. After the deeply moving relationship reaches a climax, Stefan realizes how desperately he needs Alexander's strength of character and love to survive. Aww. How's it going there, girlie? How's it going there? I should go get your string. Come on. Not on TV, mommy. Not on TV. The Hellion and the Highlander. And if you checked out, please go back and check out if you haven't already. They're out there. I did about 15 of the Arginos last year. It's a really good series. It's immensely just cute vampire stuff, and it's an awesome series. You must go check it out. And also during this particular time, there was a very large push for Scottish. Everybody was doing Scottish. Everybody. They were all doing Scottish something or other. Kathy Maxwell, Catherine Coulter, I don't know, Mary Balo, Alexandria, Brenda Chewett. There was a lot. I've got about 10 or 20 over there. I should have just brought them over. But so Scottish thing was a huge thing. 4.5 stars. Sands is at her best in the third Devil of the Highland novel. Her delightful story featuring highly emotional characters is filled with honor and passion and laced with Sands' hallmark wit and sensuality. This one's a keeper. Returning Crusader Scotsman Cade Stewart suffers a head injury that leaves him with blurred vision. He's recuperating at home of his friend Will Montague, where Avril, Will's sister, nurses him. Thinking he's unconscious, Avril talks to him, telling him how the men her father is trying to marry her to insult her because of her red hair and a tiny birthmark on her cheek. Unlike the English, Cade finds her looks and personality delightful and falls in love with her. Avril is attracted to Cade and ecstatic when he proposes, but she can't understand why he's suddenly avoiding her. In truth, he's concerned about several murders and attempts on his life. Once the killer is unmasked, Cade and Avril give free rein to their passion. How's it going there, Missy? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. We got to get your toys. We got to play with you this afternoon. Yes. You want to read Mommy's magazine with her? Do you want to read Mommy's magazine? Let's do this. The marriage ring. There we go. Goodbye. The marriage ring. 4.5 stars. Always a strong writer who delves deeply into her characters' hearts. Maxwell builds a story where love and trust overcome deception and dishonesty. Readers will understand the characters' family loyalty and need for acceptance and power of love in the scandals and seduction and trade. Yeah, this was a series. I'm a series person. Can you tell I'm a series person? Richard Lindsay isn't at the theater to admire the talent or beauty of the Scottish songbird Grace McKeon. He's there to unmask her as a blackmailer. After her father was disgraced, Grace becomes determined to prove him innocent of embezzlement, which led to her blackmailing Richard's family. When she needs to flee London, Richard agrees to accompany her to Scotland to uncover the truth. Though he is her enemy, he is the only man to get through her defenses and touch her heart. Will the journey lead to romance? Christina Dodd, and I have many of these, but I don't have this one. In Bed with the Duke, and I do have so many of hers too. 4.5 stars. Dodd returns to historical romance roots as if she's never left. Governor Bride series, she's crafted a glittering adventure romance that enthralls, captivates, and enchants with an alluring backdrop, dynamic characters, and deep sensuality. Michael Durant, the long-lost heir to the Duke of Nevitz, is more than he appears. Bent on justice and revenge, he rides the high roads as the Reaper, feeding into the legend of the dead king's return. All goes according to plan until the night he encounters demure lady's companion Emma Chedwidden. Due to an embarrassing mistake, Emma is fired from her position, rescued by the mysterious Reaper and given hope. But Emma becomes a pawn in the dark political games of the ruling family when Prince Sounder wants her as his wife. Michael cannot stand by and do nothing. He risks much for Emma and discovers she matches his courage and passion. Bobby Smith. Cowboys were also big, and they're still big. Cowboys. You know, there's a whole Harlequin series just on cowboys. 4 stars. With action-packed plot, colorful and accurate details, likable characters, and multiple love stories, this vintage Smith is exactly why her readers adore her. From the day his father was killed, Grant Spencer has been relentless in his pursuit of outlaws. He's a Texas Ranger on the trail of Les Jackson when he meets Justine Martin at a town dance. Dusty begins dressing as a boy and riding shotgun on her father's stagecoach when she was 17. She jumps at a friend's suggestion that she come to the dance. There's an immediate attraction between Dusty and Grant. Realize they will probably never meet again, but when Dusty is abducted by the Jackson gang, Grant goes after her. Together they are determined to bring the bandits to justice. Meanwhile, Grant's partner meets his match in the rancher's daughter, and Dusty's friend find the man of her dreams. Virginia Henley. Now I have the other one here, but I don't have this one. Very, very, very good series. The Falcon and a bunch of those. I'll have to do one day. Here's my baby. Here's my baby. She's here. Let's see, where's the okay. The Irish Duke. I just said it. 4.5 stars. History comes to life through Henley's extraordinary storytelling and her ability to render women who lead remarkable lives. She gives them voice and passion. On top of this, her novels are sensual, historically accurate, and thrilling. As the daughter of the Duke and Duchess of Bedford, Lady Louisa enjoys the bouty Georgian world straight into the Regency. She charms many men, but she ridicules the young Irish nobleman James Hamilton when he proposes marriage. Over the years, though, they become fast friends. Though James vows to make Lou his wife, she will not be any man's price until she is caught in a scandal. Now it's marry James or face disgrace. I don't know if I was a guy, if I wanted to be second choice. I mean, I know he was kind of first choice, but he's also, because she has no choice, and I don't know if that works. Sophia Nash. Secrets of a Scandalous Bride. There we go. The latest, 4 stars. The latest treasure from Nash is the last book in her popular Widow Club series. The story of a damsel in distress and the prince she rescues. Elizabeth Ashburn is masquerading as a widow while on the run from an unwelcome suitor, a man she believes killed her father. The only problem is that her suitor is the new darling of society, General Leland Prim. She jumps into a carriage during one of her mad escapes, only to fall into the hands of the infamous and scandalous Roland Manning, the illegitimate son of the Earl of Wallace. Roland is no gentleman, yet Elizabeth has never felt safer. He hides her for a price, though it may cost him everything. Ooh. Deanna Rayborn. The dead travel fast. 4 stars. If Victoria Holt and Buffy the Vampire Slayer got together, the outcome would be Rayburn's dark, sexy romance. The gothic atmosphere combined with the suspicious hero and intrepid heroine allay Rayburn to work her writing magic. Writer Theodore Lestrange uses her inheritance to travel to the wilds of Romania to visit her friend Casimir and her fiancé's family. Theodore senses that the Carpathian Mountains hold many secrets and is attuned to the future stories of the villages. The chill in the tales told of the deceased court cruelty and the whispers about the new Count Andre Dracula. Will the former Count return as a vampire? Is Andre a danger to Casimir and Theodore? Theodore doesn't believe in ancient superstition until a young woman is found dead with fang marks in her neck. Interesting. Laura McKee, Countess of Scandal. There you go. 4 stars. A second chance of love, a rebellion, a feisty heroine, and a noble hero are elements to savor in the first of the Daughters of Erin's books. Sets the stage for a romantic adventure that captures the spirit of Ireland and a pair of star-crossed lovers. Eliza Blacknell and William Denton grew up together in Southern Ireland. Their childhood friendship bloomed into young love, but then William left for a career in the army. Though she's British by birth, Eliza's heart belongs to Ireland. Now a widowed countess, she crusades for freedom as an anonymous pamphleteer. Will returns with a regiment sent to squash the brewing rebellion. He knows Elizabeth is involved with the rebels and struggles to keep her safe, but his efforts to convince her that treason is a dangerous game only fire her passion for work. And our final one is Cara Elliott. Why did I... There it is. Cara Elliott. To sin with a scoundrel. That title's been used a lot. 3 stars. Scholar Lady Sarah Sheffield is always in control, but when her deceased husband's family tries to steal her son's inheritance and accuses her of murder, she makes a devil's bargain with disreputable Lucas, the Earl of Hadley. Lucas asks Ciara to translate an ancient text and agrees to pose as her betrothed in exchange for her help. And then they fall in love. Aww. Alright. Shall we move on to mainstream fiction? Let's see. I don't think... Andrea Trigani. I had her books. There you go. Andrea Trigani. Brava Valentine. 4.5 stars. Readers will identify with the rich characters, complex subplots, and stylish writing that Trigani develops in her masterful sequel to Very Valentine. Complex family and social issues enhance this novel, which resonates when completed. Valentine leads you into the complicated workings of her life and leaves readers hoping the final novel in this trilogy will answer some questions yet unresolved. Valentine Macaulay takes over the Angelini Shoe Company in Manhattan when its previous director, her grandmother, marries and moves to Italy. With this challenge comes her desire to expand her family's custom-made business into a mass-market shoe line. Complicating this new direction, Graham has designed Alfred Valentine's uptight brother as the company's CFO, forcing the siblings to work together in the new dynasty. After discovering an old shoe design from an unknown relative, Valentine is led on a quest to Argentina to discover the long-lost relative who will produce her new affordable shoes. Malene watchers, if you follow me. Four stars. Watchers ably writes a novel ripe with heartache, romance, comedy, and drama. It's smart and unique, showcasing the idiosyncrasies of Japan as a perfectly and often hilarious. Tells the story of a young woman coping with her father's suicide. Marina moves to Japan for the year with her girlfriend, the first woman she's ever been in a relationship with, to teach English to Japanese students. Although her relationship with KERRELYN is strained, Marina is determined to make the best of the situation. It's not always easy, not always mastering the language a feat, so figuring out the proper way to throw out her trash. Teaching a side by side with fellow teacher and translator Hiroshi, Marina starts to rely on his friendship, especially as KERRELYN retreats farther away from her. And Minu Hip. Sorry. Petals from the Sky. Buddhism and China are intriguing backdrop for Yip's novel about a woman's journey to her true self. But while the book has rich cultural details, the story becomes marred in stilted dialogue. After falling in a well as a young girl and surviving, Meng Ning is sure that her destiny is to become a nun. Years later, a fire at a Budapest retreat literally throws Meng Ning, who still has not become a nun, into the arms of an American doctor. Ooh, love. We'll just go through the teams real quick, show you those. Maybe they'll strike your fancy. Inspirational romance. Amanda Cabot. Right there. Cabot weaves a powerful story of healing. Her characters are well thought out and readers will understand their frustrations. The focus on the rape early in the book may put readers off, but it improves as Priscilla heals. When Priscilla Morton's parents were killed by bandits, she was violated, but she is determined to make a life for herself in Texas anyway. Ranch foreman Zachary Webster believes Priscilla wants a cultured Boston man, not a cowboy. We'll see. And SHOREY. The Promise of Morning. Four stars. SHOREY delivers a compelling story featuring relatable characters who struggle with real problems. Readers are reminded that we see God's handiwork best when we work through hardship and heartache instead of running from it. After Ellie Craig loses another child, she doesn't know if she can stand any more grief. Pulling away from her minister husband, she turns her energy into finding her long-lost father. Sarah Sundin. A Distant Melody. Four stars. The first in the Wings of Glory series, an intriguing story of love, loss, and second chances. Sundin places the reader in the middle of the action as her complex, believable characters are forced to make difficult decisions. Allie Miller, who's wealthy and about to be married, has everything she could ever want, but her timid ways and battered confidence keep her from following the path her heart desires, one that will lead her path away from the world she's ever known. Lieutenant Walter Novak can't seem to speak to a single girl until he meets Allie. Walt is falling in love with, but learns he's been betrayed. Sci-fi. I don't think. Bishop's Lady. 4.5 stars. A sequel to last year's The Shadow. This book shares many of the same themes of trauma survival and the importance of doing what is right. Bishop handles these difficult subjects with a good deal of grace and sensitivity, and as always, with compelling characterizations. Finally, after years of deprivation and bad government, the shadow people of Denny Nell have a queen they can believe in, the rose-jeweled Lady Cassidy. However, it isn't happily ever after for Cassidy and her court, for the Black Widow has seen a dark and tangled future for the Queen and the land. A future that seems likely to come to fruition as part of Cassidy's painful past intrudes on her present. Cassidy must rise to the occasion and become the Queen of Janella, the former Queen of Ebon Aski and still a powerful voice in the land, knows that she can be. It's only that both Cassidy and Chekhov people can be whole again. The Empire in Black and Gold. Adrian Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky succeeds at creating a compelling, absorbing, and unique plot populated with characters worth investing time in. The city-states of the lowlands have lived in peace for decades. Unbeknownst to them, the lands beyond their borders stewed a new empire, one bent on congregation and subjugation. Interesting. Alright. Did I? Nope. Mystery, suspense, and thriller. Oh, these are for the other. And this is for the other. That's for the other. Here we go. Think Twice. Lisa SCOTTOLINE. 4.5 stars. Imagine being buried alive. Now imagine that it's your twin who did the burying. Scared yet? SCOTTOLINE takes this fear and builds a thrilling story around it. The tension never lets up. The author also touches on some thought-provoking moral issues, adding another layer to this already multifaceted book. Bernie Rosato and Alice Connolly are identical twins, but on the surface only. On a deeper level, they're as different as day and night. Alice wants Benny's fortune and sets out to get it by burying her alive. Alice plans to appear to be working. No one, including Benny's co-workers, suspects that Alice is impersonating her twin. While Alice is busy moving Benny's money to an offshore account, Benny is frantically trying to save herself. Money to Burn, James GRIPANDO. 4 stars. With all that's going on in the financial world, GRIPANDO's latest thriller couldn't be more timely. He gives an idea of what's happening on Wall Street, and most of it isn't pretty. While the setting may be new, all the elements you expect from a GRIPANDO novel are there. At 28, Michael Cantella thinks his life is close to perfect. He's a rising star at Wall Street Invest Bank and marrying the love of his life, Ivy Layton. Then she vanishes on their honeymoon. 7 years later, he's back on track. His career is hotter than ever. He's married again and has more money than he knows what to do with. But on his 35th cycle, Michael makes a horrifying discovery. Someone has wiped him out. Not only has his fortune been liquidated, his company is on the brink of bankruptcy, and he's leading suspect in its ruin. Oops. Alright, that was something else. Laura Child's The Cozies. Do you know there's a whole genre of cozy books just on tea? Laura Child's The Teaberry Strangler, 4.5 stars. Wildly popular cozy author Childs delivers love to all of her fans with another winning novel. The romantic setting of Charleston, South Carolina, a strong mystery, familiar and sympathetic characters, recipes, and even a dog to combine for a perfect cozy. You want to settle into an indigo tea shop with a cup of tea. When Theodore Browning opens her tea shop for a night shopping experience through the back alley of Charleston, she comes upon a body in a cobblestone passage. Her friend Daria, who owned the antique shop, has been strangled. Is it someone who wanted a map she refused to sell? Could her murderer have been her boyfriend, or was it someone who mistook Daria for Theodosia? Adding to her stress, her move to a charming historical college is delayed when bones are found in the backyard and the state archaeologist sets up a dig. Interesting. I have to check those out. I think I don't know why I got that one. That might have been for last month. Alright, shall we move? Oh, wait a minute. I know, there's 2 more. Check out, I did all of her books for the other series that she does. The Library Lovers series. Check out my my videos for that. I've done over 800 videos, and I did her other series. She's a really good. I really enjoyed those library books. Sprinkle with Murder, Jenn McKinlay. The first cupcake bakery mystery is a delicious addition to the many cozy series involving food. Besides involving mouth-watering cupcake recipes, McKinlay writes a good story. Hello, ma'am. Come here. 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 Here we go. Where was I? Best friends and business partners Melanie Cooper and Angie DeLaura have realized their dream of starting their own business, Fairy Tale Cupcakes. Their first job, bake 500 cupcakes for the wedding of their childhood friend and main investor Tate Hopper, to fashion designer Christy Stevens. Unfortunately, Melanie and Angie can't stand the demanding and obnoxious Christy. When she turns up dead, police suspect that she was killed by a secret ingredient in the cupcakes. Check it out. I don't know why. I don't. Oh, that was for the other series. Okay. All right. And I don't think I. Oh, I guess I do. Romantic suspense. Shattered. Um, 4.5 stars. Robards storytelling excellence shines as she presents another classic tale of murder, betrayal, and deceit. Long-simmering sensual sparks erupt when attorney Lisa Grant and DA Scott Buchanan clash. The author throws her heroine into the danger first when she uncovers old secrets. Attorney Lisa Grant returns home to Kentucky to be with her ALS-stricken mother. Their horse has fallen on hard times, and Lisa figures it will have to be sold once her mother passes. Lisa capitalizes on Scott's friendship with her mother by asking for a job. While working in the cold case area, she discovers a 30-year-old photo of a missing woman who could be her twin. Marissa Garcia and her family vanish one night, and while foul play was suspected, what really happened remains a mystery that needs to be solved. Interesting. And Pamela Clare. Now I have some of these. I should have looked. I might even have this one. But I didn't look. Yes, ma'am. Hello. Hello. Um, Naked Edge, an original tale about woman's struggle to preserve her heritage blended with heart-stopping rock climbing and wilderness survival. And let's move on. Contemporary romance. Robin Carr. Moonlight Road. 4.5 stars. Returning to Virgin River is always a pleasure, and this book is another delight. Aiden and Erin's romance from their laugh-out-loud funny first meeting to happily ever after is a note perfect, and Carr juggles a number of intriguing and touching subplots with seeming ease. Attorney Erin Foley is taking time off from her busy career to spend the summer in Virgin River, hoping to learn to be alone. The siblings she raised have found love and are living their own lives, something Erin hasn't ever had the luxury of doing. Enter Dr. Aiden Rudin, who has been discharged after 14 years in the Navy. Aiden got family in town and is planning to stick around a while, at least until the birth of his brother's child. A disastrous first marriage has left Aiden cautious in the extreme regarding romance, but there's something about prickly Erin that wakes up his libido. Interesting. Janet Chapman. Tempt me if you can. What do you think? There was an article, a couple of Romantic Time book reviews before, that the publisher has to design a cover that will attract and hold your attention for at least 3 seconds. So that 3 seconds they have to make or break whether you pick up their book to check it out. That was a huge article. Tempt Me If You Can, 4.5 stars. The sequel to last year's The Man Must Marry puts the spotlight on Ben Sinclair as he faces the fallout from past events. The secret baby storyline continues to hold power. However, the twist here is there is no baby, but a savvy teenager, hidden secrets, passion, and a dash of danger all work in perfect harmony to create an outstanding read. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. An anonymous note sends Ben back to the mountains of Maine to learn if he fathered a son 16 years ago. Brief affair ended with Kelly Sand sent him away without telling him she was pregnant. Now Ben learns that Kelly disappeared 10 years ago and her younger sister Emma has raided Michael fearing his reception, partly because of an unsolved dam explosion all those years ago. Ben registers in Emma's spotting camp under an assumed name. Because of a crush, Emma has never forgotten Ben. Knowing he will be heading off to college soon, Michael wants to make sure his beloved Anne is happy, so he is not adverse to playing matchmaking. Interesting. If You Were My Man, Francis Ray. My computer. The newest entry in Ray's Invincible Woman series brings us hostage negotiator Raphael, a challenge to any woman. The heroine Natalia presents challenges of her own. The beauty of Ray's series is that the reader always finds mature adults as the main protagonists, and there isn't an overflow of inane chatter. Natalia Fontaine is content to run the restaurant that her husband left to her when he passed away. Raphael Dunlap feels that his dangerous job with the police department prevents him from having the normal family life that his four brothers enjoy. But that doesn't mean he can't have fun as long as both parties agree that it's not forever. When the two come together, the rightness of their being one is obvious to all of the Dunlaps, but Raphael is nothing if not stubborn. Then Natalia's past in the form of a greedy, grasping sister turns up like a bad penny. And one more. Montana Legacy. PC Ryan, or RC Ryan, should I say. A well-constructed formulaic example of contemporary Western romance. A fully fleshed-out, believable characters and a tightly woven plotline make this a readable yarn. McCord earned his name by a lifelong commitment to the hunt for his family last gold. The dedication split his family, separating the three cousins who had begun their boyhoods on the Montana ranch that held a successful cattle operation and the hidden treasure. Now the boys grown into men are back for Coot's funeral. Coot will offer each of the grandsons a share in the ranch if they will stay there and keep looking for the gold. The McCoy boys aren't the only ones back in town. Amy Parrish, daughter of a neighboring rancher who hated Coot, and the only girl to capture the heart of Jesse McCord, left town without a word years ago. Will there be romance? Okay, let's get to it here. Let me fix it just a little. Paranormal, my favorite. Angela Knight, Master of Fire. It's back to the Magaverse as the son of King Arthur and Guinevere struggles against destiny. Although known for her scantling sex scenes, Knight is also adept at laying action within the intriguing worlds she creates. In her Magaverse series continues to grow and add fascinating new characters that will delight readers. Lieutenant Morgan McRae is extremely good at his job as an arson investigator and bomb squad mentor. What Logan is hiding, however, is that he is the son of the immortal vampire king Arthur and the Maggie Guinevere. This far, Logan has refused to take the steps necessary to move from latent to full vampire. Brilliant chemist Gideon Shepard has only recently changed into a full-fledged Maggie. Her current assignment is to protect Logan from a deadly assassin who is targeting talent. Since Arthur has ordered the Logan he kept in the dark, only the ancient being known as Smoke is here to assist Getty. Although Arthur has ordered Getty not to engage in the sexual behavior that could change Logan to a vampire, he can't resist. Krelsey Cole. Pleasure of a Dark Prince. The beginning of this new lore tale takes place prior to the early books, so fans will recognize some foreshadowing of future events. As always, Cole pairs up two unlikely lovers and then puts them through the ringer with an expedition up the Amazon. This adventurous story takes a treasure hunt flair. To save her life, teenage Valkyrie Lucia has made a bargain with the goddess. The price was eternally chastity, along with the mission of keeping evil god Crom Crouch imprisoned. Lucia is warned that Crouch is trying to escape and unleash an apocalypse, but she is distracted when she runs into Light Gareth McCreeve. To save her life, teenage Valkyrie Lucia has made a bargain with the goddess. Oh, I said that right. When Gareth realizes that Lucia is his mate, he refuses to back down, even when she shoots him with her cross arrows. Sorry, I need to come back up here. It's horrible. He knows they are destined to be together, but she fears the loss of her legendary skills if she gives into passion. Born to be Wild. This is another good series. Christine Warren. Biological warfare is the heart of the newest chapter of Warren Others series. The romantic dance between the protagonists is fun to observe while they face a deadly menace. Are you biting my string? Are you biting my string? Stone Creek vet Dr. Jossie Barrett is taken back when Sheriff Eli Pace rushes with a wounded wolf. Upon examination, Jessie realizes this is no wolf but a lupine female shapeshifter. But she doesn't understand why doesn't she heal and shift back to human. Finding the answer to that proves critical as an additional cases begin to appear. Oh, look that the price tag is still in here. Alexis Morgan, Defeat the Darkness. The Palladian adventure continues in the Morgan newest tale of good versus evil. Although Palladian heroes are fated to die again and again, there is a mental breaking point. With her new heroes, the author explores one man's fight to recover both emotionally and physically. After a mission left him crippled, Palladian warrior Hunter Fitzsimmons has decided to leave St. Louis for Washington. The barrier between the world of humans and the others has become unstable near volcanoes. So Devon Bain wants to send Hunter to Justice Point, where greedy individuals on both sides of the barrier may be trying to profit. And Kate Douglas, Demon Fire. Erotica superstar Douglas turns her red-hot talent to a paranormal romance with the first book in her newly devilishly seizing Demon Slayer series. The author introduces her version of reality quickly and then launches as her heroine on the ride of her life. Small-town reporter Eddie Marks has always considered her father a bit nuts for believing that an ancient race of warriors lived beneath Mount Shasta in Northern California. But when she and her dog Bumpo stumble across Stax, a former demon, she's got a few things to reconsider. Chick with a Charm. I know my picture's really, really bad. The second, it's got 4 stars. The second in Thompson's new Babes on Broom series stands well on its own. It follows the same premise as the series starter. Blondie with a wand with another plotline that demands an enormous suspension of disbelief. Lily has always been known as the impulsive screw-up her family. She has never quite measured up to her sister, the focused, competent business owner. She can't even get the guy she's crushing on to move beyond the longing look stage. Now her sister is getting married and she needs a date for the engagement party. Maybe Griffin, the crush, is in question, but just a little push in her direction, a small adoration smell. Come here. Come here. Come read with me. Come read with me. Lily crafts the spell using the adoration of her dog Daisy as the template. It works. Griffin adores her and the sex is stupendous. Unfortunately, the more Lily's around Griffin, the more she really likes him. Oh. Will it backfire? Alright. Some Harley Quinn. Angie Daniels. Alright, where was I? Angie Daniels. All right, this one in the middle. Before I Let You Go, 4.5 stars. Angie Daniels. School teacher Kelly Saunders hasn't been interested in dating since a terrible breakup, but that changes after she runs into her first love, Demir um, Redmond. Their potential relationship was thwarted years ago when Demir's ex claimed she was pregnant with his twin daughters, but the girls weren't his. He was glad to see Kelly again, but the memory of her past relationship could prevent them from changing the future. Dara Girard. The one on the end here. Words of Seduction, 4 stars. Once again, Gerard pens a most entertaining and fun story about a boy from the wrong side of the tracks who makes it big. Rick Jordan vows that the folks in his hometown will respect him for the man he is today. He left without the woman he fell in love with after her father sabotaged their relationship. Suzanne Rand's life hasn't gone as planned. Her marriage is over, her father is dead, she broke up and struggling to write a follow-up book to her successful too. When she returned to the family home to prepare for its sale, there's only one person interested in the property, Rick. We'll see what happens there. Casey Miles. That one right there. 4.5 stars. Indestructible. Sports writer Drew Kincaid is unafraid of taking any risks. He knows he can self-heal except taking a real relationship. Then along comes librarian Melinda Watson, who steals his heart and now is carrying his child. To keep her safe from the entities that have been chasing him since his childhood, Drew has to face his past, his powers, and the real possibility that his unborn child carries a genetic mutation. Lindsay McKenna, our final book for the day. Where else can somebody do all these books? Where else do you see all of these different genres done? Lindsay McKenna. His Woman in Command. Captain Garvin Jackson, leader of Special Forces Team, is the officers' club on the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan when in walks the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. Nike Alexander of all the Black Squadron 60 team has assisted in the capture of drug runners, which ended in tragedy. Although she's attracted to Gavin, Nike's determined to keep her heart closed, since she's certain she can't deal with losing another beloved one. But circumstances often have a way of changing a heart's mind. The latest is the Black Dagger Squadron series is a relevant, tightly woven story featuring dynamic characters. So check it out. We have finished the Romantic Times book review March 2010 edition. Tell me these books aren't still prevalent today. Tell me. You can still get these books on Amazon, in your libraries, everywhere. They're still prevalent and they still work and they still give you good ideas for stuff to read. I could read this book magazine for hours upon hours. I've read them all for hours and I will continue to keep reading them for hours. So please hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out Star Trek recaps on Friday, my If Then series Friday afternoons, and of course my daily book reviews every single day. Last year we did Patterson and Janet Ivanovich. We'll be doing her again. We did all of J.D. Robbs. I'm a series person. We did Jen McKinley. We did Allison Brooke. We did Carolyn Sparks. Oh, that was somebody we didn't do. This was in here. Carolyn's box, the Virgin and the Vampire. Let's just do this last one. Because I missed it before. But I did all the sparks. That's the Malcontents and the Good Guys for the Spark series. I also did quite a few of those last year. So please check those out. It's here, so. Oh, here it is.